I found a way that you can add 1 to 2,000 gold per hour on top of almost any gold farm that you're already doing, and I think it is going to be very simple to do and able to be picked up by almost anyone. It's only going to be tenable or viable whilst the Winter Convergence Festival is live, so we have about 14 more days to make the most of it. If we haven't met before, I'm ActusXD, you're lovely, let's get stuck straight into it. The notion of the idea, or the basis of the idea, is formed around the winter tokens, which are a currency available during the Winter Convergence Festival. Now, how is having winter tokens going to increase our gold per hour, I hear you asking? Actually, I don't. I'm recording this at a different time to when you're listening to it. But anyway, you can exchange the winter tokens for... No, you don't need any reputation with the Winter Wanderer, but you can exchange 2 winter tokens for attribute food that scales with your level. If you're level 1, you can buy attribute food that will give you 1 of the specific attribute for the food that you buy, and it scales all the way up to 33 of the attribute if you're level 60, which falls about 30% of the way through the difference between tier 4 attribute food, which is 30, and tier 5 attribute food, which is 40 attributes. I said attributes so many times then. So what that technically means is that we need 6 presents to be able to buy 1 of these stat foods. And if we go to the auction house and have a look at the price that the stat foods are selling for, you will see, well, that price is ridiculous, the Ginger Snap cookies there on my server, but you will see, I think by and large, that most of the attribute foods are selling for somewhere between 40 and 60 gold per piece of food. I've sold a stack of 10 Ginger Snap cookies on my server quite a while ago for 50 gold a piece, and you can see that a number of the other types of food are going for about 40 to up to 60 on my server. Now, you'll have to check this for yourself, but by my maths, say if we were to turn this proposal into a 2,000 gold per hour farm, that would mean that you would need to pick up, on average, 300 presents to be able to exchange those 300 presents for enough food to earn 2,000 gold an hour. That would mean that each present is worth about 6.6 gold each, which is quite a tasty little pickup for just running along a road and being able to grab it. Whilst these presents may be lost, a present that I have found that you can give to me is to like this video, subscribe and hit the bell notification if you'd like to know when I go live or a video goes up, and leave a comment down below as to what farm you think you'll build this present addition into. That would be a wonderful present. So that's the basic idea of the farm, but we're going to get into some things that I think are going to turn it from, somewhere in the vicinity of a 1,000 to 2,000 gold per hour farm into a much better, much more sustainable farm that you'll be able to do as part of everything else that you're doing. But if you want to just go out and farm the lost presents themselves, then run along a road and pick up as many presents as you can and just sell or exchange them for the food, and then you can either choose to sell them on the trading post straight away, or, as I've already discussed, the Winter Convergence Festival is going to end on the 11th of January, at which point you will no longer be able to get the 33 attribute food. People will either be forced to buy that food off someone who's already purchased it, or use the tier 4 food, which is less attributes, or use the tier 5 food, which is much, much more expensive for only 7 more attributes. So I think as time goes on, we will see that the value of these foods go up significantly in price to fall somewhere between what a tier 4 and a tier 5 food is presently selling for. You'll see on my server that 40 strength food goes for in the vicinity of 200 coins, whereas tier 4 strength food, 30 strength food, goes for about 32. So you could expect that the 33 strength food is going to fall somewhere in the middle there, and there's no reason to think it's not going to be closer to your sort of 50 to 60 coins, given the breadth or the distance between those two price points already. So if you can have the capacity to be patient, then I suggest you just hold on. You can use some of them for yourself, sell some now to take some immediate profit, but if you hold on, I think they're going to go up significantly in value. Now, if we look at the spawn locations of these presents, as I've said, they spawn almost entirely on the roads, but an easy way to increase the amount of presents that you get is to run to the floating presents, which when you knock them out of the sky will give you, I think, 20 to 25 presents, and then if you come across a Gleamite meteor, which only occur at night, then you'll be able to pick up a heap of Gleamite and exchange that for extra presents. So I would suggest using eternummap.gg for this, as it shows the most in-depth or detailed information in relation to the Winter Convergence festivals out of the maps that I've looked at or that I use, and you can just track and figure out, well, what's the best route that I can run that will put me on the path with a heap of presents, but also to be able to swing past floating presents to see if they've spawned, and to get the Gleamite at night time if it happens to be there. Now, I think the most obvious big brain thing that you can do here is to overlay this farm on top of other farms that already exist. So if we take, for instance, the Reekwater farm down in southern Reekwater, getting the wire fiber and the Tarragon that spawn down there, if we track presents on top of those two things, you can relatively easily see that there is a decent crossover, so that at the same time that you're farming Tarragon and wire fiber, you can pick up presents, and it's going to boost your gold per hour significantly. On a farm like that, it's actually excellent because we're waiting often a little while for the wire fiber and the herbs to respawn, so adding the extra time of running and picking up the presents isn't wasted, or, we're not losing time harvesting the other things. We're just adding more gold per hour on top of what already existed. We can look at other obvious, or, I say obvious, other farms that I've done videos on, and we can see that down in Cutlass Keys, the little island, I'm pointing to my monitor for some unknown reason. If you're just doing the Hyssop farm, you can run around and just add presents into your farm for extra gold. If we look at the Star Metal farm in Cutlass Keys again, specifically the Alligator Cave that exists down there, you'll see there's a heap of presents nearby, and if you're there at night time, there's a Gleamite meteor that explodes directly out the front, which means you can be getting your Rawhide, Star Metal, Gold, and Lost Presents and Gleamite all at the exact same time to boost what's already a fantastic gold per hour into something even better as you wait for the Star Metal to respawn. If we overlay iron, you can see that you can basically run anywhere on the map with your eyes closed, and you're going to bump into either a Lost Present or an iron node within about 3 seconds. However, my perspective on that is it's probably not best to focus on iron, because you'll be spending so much time mining the iron that getting the presents isn't really building it into the farm, it's just extending the time of your farm. Moving on up to Northern Great Cleave, we can see that the Lodestone farm runs perfectly along a path that has a heap of lost presents, and sometimes we are waiting for Lodestone to respawn, or there's someone else doing the farm, and that little bit of competition means that we just stay either in the north or the southern area. You add those presents in, it's going to boost your gold per hour up significantly. Something else you can do that just increases your efficiency while doing this, not your gold per hour, but if you've got weapons that you want to level up and you just haven't been bothered, whilst you're running around randomly in the world, in and over roads and through farms and stuff, if you equip a weapon that you haven't yet leveled and you just kill stuff that you're running through, you'll see here I'm doing it with the rapier, you're basically getting free weapon experience at the same time that you're doing something else. You would be killing those mobs, which is wasted time anyway if you have to run through them. So if you're just chucking on another weapon and getting weapon experience at the same time, you're obviously not going to get tens of thousands and it's the most efficient thing, but there's no actual deliberate action taken by you to get that weapon experience. You just bung the weapon on, kill the stuff, it's free weapon experience, and it's time that you're not going to have to spend specifically doing the weapon farm later on. So whilst it doesn't immediately boost your gold per hour, in sort of some senses it will, because it gives you more time in the future to be able to do it. I'm not ruling out making a video specifically on this in the future, but if you've made it this far into this video, I'd like to give you the heads up. If you reach level 5 reputation with the Winter Wanderer, you'll see that you can buy a number of patterns for only 1 token each. Those patterns are consumed on use, and presently on my server they're going from anywhere between 10 and 40 gold. I've already bought 1 of every kind. If they're going for 10 to 40 gold now whilst the festival is live, you can bet your bottom dollar that they are going to skyrocket in price as either people come back to the game when the festival isn't on and they're going to want those things, people are just going to be consuming more as they're trying to roll different gear, or they've used their pattern when they were leveling and they want the skin now that they're level 60. The value of those patterns is going to skyrocket. So if you have extra tokens left over and you feel like you're either over invested in food or food isn't that viable on your server, I would consider investing your tokens, especially as we get towards the end of the Convergence Festival, into those patterns and just hoarding them, and just not constantly, but periodically keeping an eye on what the value of them or the availability of them is doing on your server, and just listing your 1 or your 2 here and there to snipe 100, 200, maybe 1,000 gold as time goes on. For literally 1 token is probably 30 seconds worth of effort. You'll be able to just if you invest your time now, you'll be able to take large profits into the future. So you have 15 days to go and turn your regular farms and add 1 to 2,000 gold per hour on top of them. If you've made it to the end of the video, thank you very much. The link to the Discord is down below. We would love for you to join us there. Hit the bell notification to know when we go live. Thank you very much for watching. I love you, and remember,